All of these other Breaking Bad breakdowns, get out of my freaking face. It's all, you get too wrapped up in the details, all right? You're not looking at the bigger picture. You're not thinking about the bigger picture. All right, so let's say you got your original OC crappy character that has no actual storyline. I'm gonna help you build a storyline in like one simple step. There's a little technique that I invented that I let the creators and writers of Breaking Bad borrow for a second. Here's the crazy thing about this. It applies to almost every single freaking character in one of the greatest TV shows of all time, Breaking Bizzle. Here's all it is, baby. You ready for this? Give a character something that they really flippin' like, and then you take it all away because of their past actions. Then, all you gotta do is watch them try to get it back in a really ironic way in 2 steps, called the easy way and the hard way. Breaking Bad does this every single flippin' time. It's in every single scene, every single season, every episode. Alright, don't get wrapped up in the details. Here's the bigger picture right here. First of all, do not call this a character arc. I don't like arcs. It sounds stupid. This is called a cycle because you're literally repeating the same exact cycle every single time. The good thing about that is you don't have to make anything new. Here's the main thing, right? You give a character something they really like and you take it all away, and you watch them slowly work back to get every single thing that they lost back. But the whole time, they're in a fight. And this is really simple. This is all that you really need. They're in a fight with the mask that they're creating for themselves versus their true self. That's all you gotta do. It's my personal belief that Walter started with a mask. He started as a nice guy, or whatever, right? He moved more to his true self. That's why everything came so naturally to him. And I feel like Jesse's the exact opposite. He has a very clear true self, and he's really trying to put on a mask. It's all about being a blowfish. It literally is all about being a blowfish for Jesse. We're gonna be following Jesse's story. I've stitched together all of Jesse's scenes, so I can watch the scenes back to back and watch Jesse actually change from one scene to the next, from one cycle to the next. And you can do this with any of your characters. It's done with pretty much every character in Breaking Bad. It's real simple. The main thing that Jesse needs is an emotional need and a physical desire, alright? That's all you really need. These are 2 little things. Alright, so Jesse starts that cycle and he eventually gets the emotional need and the physical desire. And then once he gets it, we restart the cycle. And you know what's freaking hilarious? Is that it's almost always the exact same desire and emotional need at its core. So you don't have to create anything new, you're just redoing these cycles. That's why it's called a cycle. Alright, let's get into it. So right here's a highlighted section of one full cycle for Jesse. We can watch this happen. Watch this.
Cue ball son of a bitch laughed in my face. Now I got like $80 to my name. I got bills due, man. I'm screwed.
Alright, Jesse's broke. He needs money. But it's okay. Jesse's okay. You know, he's got his house. He's still got his bike and everything. He's doing good, right?
You're kicking me out of my own house?
It's your Aunt Ginny's house.
And she gave it to me.
Alright, next step. Jesse loses his house. He's gonna take it away from him.
You decide to grow up, you can have it back.
No, why don't you grow up, Mom? Jenny wanted me here. I was the one who took care of her. I took her to her appointments and made her lunch every day. I earned this.
You did not make her lunch every day.
What'd you do?
So now he has an emotional need, right? So he's got the physical need for the money, but he has an emotional need here to be respected because he did right. He actually did right. That's the ironic thing, and that's what is hitting so hard is Jesse was taking care of his aunt. Jesse's a good guy, and he's trying to say, look, I'm a good guy. Can you please believe me? Can you cut me some slack here? Nobody's giving him a chance, all right? He's looking for some parental love here, okay? This is the emotional need that nobody's cutting him slack on.
She's lying there, dying, and where the hell are you?
Don't start with me.
Wow, great family, Mom. But that was before my housing situation went completely testicular on me, okay?
You smoked the entire 600, didn't you?
It's a frustrating time, you know? Whenever you bring him down, you bring him as far away from the goal as possible, in the exact opposite direction.
You cannot be serious!
Someone took your bike, man. Not cool.
Alright, but he's not low enough yet, right? We gotta stick him in the poop. Alright, so Jesse's pretty darn low, okay? He's exactly where we need him to be to start building himself back up and proving himself, right? Except nobody's cutting him slack, you know? Nobody's giving him a break.
Are you actually this stupid?
No, look, I know this isn't an optimal
To come
situation.
to my house.
So here's the cool thing is Walter and Jesse's cycle are aligning right now, and they are crashing together at the same time. This is why it's so fun to watch them together, because they typically will crash and rise together.
I mean, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm really asking. You don't know. You know why you don't know? Because you don't think. That's why. You don't think. You never figured out how to think, did you, Pinkman?
I said I was sorry. All right? I just need my half of the money and I will go.
There is no your half of the money. There is only my all of it. Do you understand?
So this is where it gets interesting. The fight between his true self and his mask really begins. Jesse was trying to do the right thing. He's taking care of his aunt. She dies. The house is taken away from him. This was his true self, you know? And now suddenly his true self is not cutting it anymore in this world that he's in. He's going to have to start resorting to a mask version of himself. Listen to what Walter says here.
Look, that is completely uncool, all right? We agreed. 50-50 partners.
Partners in what? What exactly do you do here? I've been meaning to ask.
What exactly do you do here, you know?
Because I'm the producer, right? I cook. But from what I can tell, you are just a drug addict. You are a pathetic junkie. Too stupid to understand and follow simple rudimentary instructions. Too stupid to...
So whenever I say true self, it's kind of divided into two parts, right? Where there's like the negative part of your true self, and then there's the positive side, which Jesse should be following the positive, but he's, you know, been sticking with this negative junkie. And Walter just called him out on it. And so now Jesse's resorting to a mask version of himself, pretty much. And this is, from this point on, Jesse's going to be fighting between these two versions. The violent side and his more true self-caring nature. Guess who Walter wants him to be, right? Guess who Walter wants him to be? He wants to be the masked self, the violent dog that he can control. So listen to what Walter says here. Okay, Walter's in pain. He wants him to do it, but he also would very much like Jesse to be violent. So this is the cool part, right? Jesse was wanting some parental love, and he was wanting his money. Guess what? He gets a little bit of both.
Want some breakfast?
Oh, want some breakfast? There you go. Alright, so that's one cycle, or one arc, whatever you want to call it, crap. Hey, you little sweet thing. This video is sponsored by me. Support me and help support my students. We got classes on creating comics, basic drawing stuff, environment, painting, design, story. We teach it all, baby. One of my favorite classes is from Chris Amick.
So instead of waiting on somebody else to lower this rope, build your own ladder. And that's what the calling card is. So a calling card is a short, easily consumable sample of produced work. Short meaning it takes them, about 5 minutes of their time to read or watch it. It is a short film, a web series, a comic, a narrative TikTok series, a teaser that you've made. That's something that I did was I had a pilot and I couldn't get anybody to read it. And I was working in the industry and I had some connections and I still couldn't get anybody to read it. So instead of just trying to scream at Twitter and get really mad and yell into the abyss, my writing partner and I shot a teaser and we made a funny 5-minute teaser that incorporated all of the characters and set up the premise of the pilot, and basically it was just like a fun, quick, engaging short. Okay, so think of the gatekeepers up on their castle wall, behind the wall of breaking into this industry, and they're looking down on this ocean of screenwriters yelling, "It's a buddy comedy with heart, just give me a chance, Marvel, let me have a Marvel movie, you coward." And they're up there scanning this ocean of faces that all blend together, and the shouts all blend together. We all start off in that crowd. We're all there at the start, no matter what. We're fighting for a way to stand out and climb the wall and get inside this industry. And then every once in a while, someone throws a rope over the edge into the sea of screenwriters, and they all rush towards it. And everybody climbs and pushes each other off until one or two have made it over the top, and then the rope is cut, and those still climbing fall. And sometimes they make you pay to climb that rope. So should you wait for the next rope? If you have been climbing these ropes and you've been running from one to the other and fighting everybody there and trying to be the one or two, and then you keep getting dropped, how long is that going to take? Waiting on somebody else to throw this rope down. That sounds exhausting to me. So instead of waiting on somebody else to lower this rope, build your own ladder. And that's what the calling card is.
We're teaching the new generation of directors, alright? Join us. What happens in a nutshell, Jesse's cycle this round, he needs money and he needs a little bit of parental respect and love. Jesse needs that money, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna give him something that he really loves, and we're gonna take that shit away from him. He loses his house, he kind of loses the love of his mama. He loses his friend right here because he can't stay with his friend. He loses his motorcycle, real sad. He loses the RV, and then he's alone and sad and covered in poop. And then at the very end, because he's slowly showing Walter that he's turning into a masked version of himself, the version that Walter needs him to be, he gets his money back, and he gets a little bit of parental love from Walter. Alright, so this highlighted section is Jesse's new cycle. Let's get into this. Where does the very first emotional need pop in here? Let's see what it is.
We got to be Tuco.
So you're going to what? Snort meth off a Bowie knife? Well, you gonna beat your homies to death when they diss you?
Look, I know some guys.
Alright, so Jesse's plan is to be the new Tuco, and in this scene, Walter obviously does not respect him, and Jesse's again missing this parental kind of love and acceptance, and like just not to be judged.
Yeah, damn straight. Know why? Because we do things my way this time, or I walk.
So Jesse's changed a little bit since the last cycle. He realizes his worth, and he's demanding a little bit more respect, alright?
You need me more than I need you, Walt.
So the cool thing about these cycles is that they can be really short, like episodic, and then they can be really long. He's also given another emotional need for, you know, just companionship in general. So he's given a girlfriend, and we know that this is gonna be taken away later. And once that's taken away, he's gonna have to try to get that back. So don't look at this as surface level crap, alright? That, oh, he's given a girlfriend and then she's taken away, so now he has to find a new girlfriend. It's not about that. It's about what is taken away emotionally, what's actually happening here. All these other Breaking Bad breakdowns annoy the hell out of me because they're so surface level. They're like focusing on what's happening physically in the story. You're not thinking about the bigger picture. Alright, look at the big cycles. Give me a break here.
It seems to me that what you call breakage is just you making a fool of yourself.
He's not getting the respect from his parental figure here. Alright, so Jesse's need for emotional respect, he's trying it the easy way. He's hired some people to do some drug dealing for him. They get stuck up. So some of Jesse's money gets stolen, right? And Jesse's like, you know what? I can wear this mask. I can wear both of my masks. I can be a good guy and I can be a bad guy, or like pretend to be a bad guy, right? Walter's like, no, you have to make a decision. So this is the fight between your mask self and your true self.
What happens when word gets out and it's open season on these clowns you've hired, huh? Once everyone knows that Jesse Pinkman, drug lord, can be robbed with impunity, you think Tuco had breakage?
Tuco is a mask. Walter's going to adorn the mask of Tuco. Jesse has to adorn the mask of Tuco. All these other big bad characters, don't think of them as different characters. They're just masks that they need to adorn. And the question is, throughout a whole season arc, is, are you going to adorn that mask, or are you going to fall back to your old self, to your true self? And this is going to be the battle. That's what's interesting, is watching them go, oh, I can have my cake and eat it too. Jesse's like, I can be a good guy, and I don't have to hurt anybody, right? We'll see.
Yo, I mean, seriously, what the hell do you want me to do? Huh?
Jesse's like, yo, I'm going to be my true self. What can I do? What can I do about it? Guess who's going to be pushing Jesse into his masked self? Just take a little wild guess.
I want you to handle it.
Alright, so that's the setup for this cycle. That is the whole emotional and physical setup for the cycle. Yo, I need respect, and also I need my money back. Here's what's genius about this. This next cycle, I'm going to show you a preview of what this whole cycle is. Right here. Jesse being a nice, sweet guy to a cute little bug.
What up? Damn, bitch.
Somebody else comes around and squashes the bug for him. That was a setup within a setup, alright?
So let me get this straight. You got jacked by a guy named Spooch.
But hey, you know, if you're looking for a reason not to go do this thing,
Hey, did I say that?
because I'll go do it myself, right? It's just, I'm on probation and all.
Old Skinny Pete's in the same cycle. He's like, yo, I'd kill this person, but, you know, I'm on probation. You're not willing to wear that mask just yet, brother.
These two, they need to get got.
Where's my money? Bitch. Do not mess with me. I will bury you, because I'm crazy. Yeah, mucho loco.
Everything's just a little microcosm of itself. So you don't have to think too hard about this. He's putting on a mask. He calls himself Diesel. And he's just trying to be, he's trying to be the mask version of himself. And right here, he's like, I can't be the. He's fighting with himself right now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Honey, you blocking the mailbox.
Sorry.
Think it's gonna be a nice day, huh?
Oh, yeah, high 70s.
So there's a natural question within all of this, right? Are you gonna do it? Do you got the cojones to do it? Are you gonna be what you're trying to pretend to be? Or are you gonna be your old self? And it's the same setup every time. And what's dope about this is that it can be for a rom-com, it can be for a comedy, it can be for an action movie, or whatever. It's the same thing. People put on masks naturally, and they're going to see if they're gonna change or not. So Jesse's in the house, he's ready to kill, he's ready to put on his mask, but in walks the old version of himself. In walks a representation of the true version of himself that he's gonna have to kind of battle with here. All right, the writers are not making this easy for Jesse. This is a tough thing. He's like, man, I need to be a killer right now. I gotta focus. But in walks this little kid, and Jesse's just a little kid too, man. His mom told him, grow up. Look at him playing peekaboo, like a little baby. Grow up, Jesse. What's really clever about this little peekaboo game is that it kind of shows his true self, and it also gets him in trouble, puts him in a really hard situation. And then later with the peekaboo thing, we get a glimpse of his true self again. It's pretty cool. So Jesse's in the house with these drug addicts, and they've got the money, but it's in a safe, so they're trying to break this safe open. And Jesse's like trying to be a bad guy, but he just can't quite bring himself to do it. Alright, so Jesse's knocked out. Don't get too involved into the specifics here. Let's just look at what the bigger picture offers.
Skank ass skank! You listen to me, skank? Huh? You hear me, skank? You are a skank ass skank!
No, skank.
No, don't.
I mean, he told her she was a skank, but she was a skink.
The person that he was supposed to intimidate is suddenly killed. Somebody else comes around and squashes the bug for him. That was a setup within a setup, alright? So, job one done. And now he gets all of his money. Almost as a reward for being a blowfish. I'll explain in a second. And then he tells the little kid to play peekaboo. Close his eyes so he can go outside so he doesn't have to see anybody dead. And then...
You have a good rest of your life, kid.
He's got to leave his old self behind. He says, you have a good life, kid. So why does Jesse have to leave his old self behind, right? This right here.
You did not kill anyone. Does anybody think that you killed anybody?
I mean, did he really squash that dude's head with an ATM machine?
Who's saying that?
Damn, man, it's all over town. Everybody's like, whoa, snap. Usually I gotta chase dudes down for their money, but today, everybody's paying up.
True that. Serious. He really did it?
You didn't hear that from me. You are a blowfish.
What?
A blowfish, think about it.
I don't even know
The blowfish puffs up, okay? The blowfish puffs himself up 4 or 5 times larger than normal, and why? And that's you. You are a blowfish. But you see, it's just all an illusion. It's nothing but air. Who messes with the blowfish, Jesse?
Nobody messes with the blowfish, alright? So this applies to everything, alright? This applies to life, this applies to other shows, it's just too good. It's super relatable, it's adorning a mask. The reason Jesse has to leave his old self behind is because he has to adorn this new mask of a killer.
The game has changed, the word is out. And you are a killer.
Alright, so there you go, there's a new cycle that begins with him fighting the mask versus his true self over and over and over again. And because he's adorning this mask and becoming somebody that he knows he's not, Walter loves this and gives him some little parental love and acceptance for this, right? He gives him a pat on the back.
I'm a blowfish!
Blowfish!
Yeah! Blowfish in this,
All right, so he gets his money and he gets what he wanted emotionally. For every one of these cycles, you don't have to always get the money. You don't always have to get the emotional thing because a lot of times Walter will give him a little hint of the emotional need, or a girlfriend will, or whatever, and then they'll take it away. So he's got to kind of get that back. And it's just this constant cycle. It's the same thing every time. So the cycles go on and on and on. It's always pretty much the exact same physical and emotional need, just in different ways. Like, you need to get the money back to get your respect or whatever. You need to get enough money to get your house back so you can get the emotional need from that situation. So the money's just a middleman, right? The end result is a byproduct of the money. It's a house, but what does the house represent? And then between the arcs, you might have a little bit more fun and games section. And then right here, you can see the full new cycle with Jesse and his girlfriend and him losing her in that process. And I would kind of argue that Jesse went backwards. He tried to go to his true self, like a bad version of his true self, and it really didn't turn out well for him. He was really punished for it. So he's not rewarded for putting on the mask. You need to reward them for putting on that mask. And so here we begin Jesse's new cycle after rehab. And that's you just keep on doing those cycles. And make sure you punish them for not wearing that mask. Alright, Hank is really similar, right? But he's in a different part of his cycle. So he finally got the job that he wants, and he's gonna be a big time cop man, right? He's put into a new division where he has to adorn the mask of somebody that he's not. He has to kind of kiss somebody's butt. He has to start playing by the rules. And, you know, Hank isn't like that. He's got a lot of pride in him. And then suddenly, Hank gets a little wake-up call of what his mask really means. And he really can't put on that mask. He has panic attacks, and he is really punished for not putting on that mask. Here's another cool little tidbit about putting on your mask in the cycle, is that don't have them be the ones that slip the mask on them. So right here, he hits Tuco, and they're going to kill him. Jesse shoots him, but guess who shows up and actually does the deed? Hank shows up and does the deed, so they don't have to put that mask on just yet. Well, they're not killers just yet, right? It's a slow transformation. Exactly the same whenever he went to the tweaker's house, and he was going to take care of business, and he was going to be the big bad man, and he wasn't even the one that killed the people. Now he has to adorn this mask. Exact same cycle, exact same setup, just a little bit different details in there. Don't think about the details. Another sick tidbit about the writing in Breaking Bad is show the bomb under the table before you have it explode, right? They do this all the time. This is an Alfred Hitchcock technique that he used a lot. So right here we start the scene with the cops rolling up, right? They got their guns. They're going to be doing something. Something is going to happen, and now we're engaged. We're watching what's happening. Then we cut to Jesse inside the room. So now we know what's going to happen. Now we're just going to have to wait to see how it plays out. So I really like that, right? You're almost given the answer. You're like, yeah, something's going to happen. It's going to happen, right? But you don't know how it's going to happen. Then people are more engaged to watch it that way. All right. Use this in your OCs. Get a little learnt and a little turned. Have fun.